is Philippe, like Natalia said. I'm working in the e-commerce field since some while now, and one of the most important key to a successful e-commerce site is definitely speed. I believe in it, but I'm not the only one, and we'll see that there's a lot of people thinking the same and having much larger companies to run, and they believe that speed is a real issue to e-commerce. So I'm the CEO of NBS. I'm going to go fast on this one because Natalia already introduced me. We actually host more than 500 Magento sites, so we had to deal with speed issue because of many different things. Actually, why speeding up is a real good idea and what is it critical to your business. We'll see also how to measure it and what contributes to load time. Mainly, I have a lot of figures flowing from everywhere, from every merchant sites, and we can see that speed is a key to success. Forrester told us that 5 seconds to load, it's already 20% of people bailing out. It's a lot. It's a huge lot. And one of the most important figures in all of this is that when you ask your user what is a long time to load, they say between 4 and 6 seconds. 4 and 6 seconds. It's not much. And when you see the difference between what they were thinking in 2006, 64% of them would not go back to a slow site, what they consider a slow site. Now, 4 years after, it's 75%. So people won't come back to a site which is called slow or feel like slow, and you will have a better transformation rate if your site runs smoothly and fast. So it's not an option. It's a key to success, a real key. It's about user experience. Now we have a second good point to see something really strong. Google considers that when you load in more than 1.5 seconds, you're in the slow team, the red part of the graphic. So you don't want to be considered to be slow by Google, and your user won't either see your site as slow. So 1.5 seconds is a limit that Google set. Okay, it's something you can see in Webmaster Tools. It's publicly available. If you have your Google tag on your site, you can see this in your back office in Webmaster Tools. It's 1.5 seconds. It's our goal to load in less than 1.5 seconds. Now I'd like to pinpoint you to a simple graphic that shows you what contributes to load time. First, when your user goes to your website, you make a simple DNS query. Usually this takes almost no time. It's really, really fast to do because it directly interrogates its ISP. It's really fast. And then it queries your website, your servers. Maybe it will fall on a load balancer and be directed to one or another server, but it will get some data from your web server. And then usually a lot of processing is done in the backward. PHP processing, interrogating database, and then filling back some result in HTML file, bringing it back to your customer computer, and then it looked like, okay, you have to get also some images, some JavaScript, some CSS, so you can render the page successfully. And this takes a bit of time, but mainly the third step, the one processing PHP, can be heavy to run. And this is the place where CPU usage is very important. We'll see this with Alexei. And next is transfer the static file, like give me all your static file, and you take your CSS file, JS, and picture file, and then there's a local processing of all the page that will be done, so it's easily readable on a browser. All these steps takes a lot, and of course, there is network transfer, network latency in all of this. Now, Magento is considered to be resource hungry, but it's not really true. Let's consider the features it gets to you, meaning a lot of features compared to old one like OS Commerce and so on that were pretty fast to load, but really not handful to manage. So if you want to do it all by yourself, you will be able to do it in Assembler, for example, but it's going to take you years and years to develop your website. But it will be fast, okay? So we don't want this to happen. You want to use an object-oriented programming language, really easy to manage, really reliable when it comes to maintaining your site. You want to have a lot of feature built in your framework, so you don't have to do it all by yourself. And remember that PHP is still an interpreted language. It's not a compiled one. So beyond all, it's still slow because it has to be interpreted by your computer. And it's not bytecode. And Magento is not really a framework. It's a meta framework. It's above another framework. So all of this can be considered as being heavy to process. But if you give enough power and intelligence to all of this, you'll be able to use a really good framework, a reliable one, and one in the other is just a CPU and RAM trade-off. Now, what we like to see is benchmarking, because being slow or fast is just something you feel, but how to be sure of it? How does your user experience is felt by your users? We have a very strong indice now, something really useful. It's called AppDex. It's not about if you take a lot of users or not. It's about what they feel about your site. If it loads fast or not. It's the only thing that in the end matter to all of your customers. Does it load fast? And AppDex indice is used to make this balance. So the E part is excellent, meaning your user experience is really excellent for them. The green part is good, then fair, poor, and unacceptable. Okay? So what you want to maintain is an excellent or good user experience for your incoming users. And it's definitely not the same as with your girlfriend. She's not satisfied if you load in less than 1 second. But for your user, it's pretty good. And, she's perhaps tolerating from 1 to 4 seconds, but she's very tolerating. But it is something that you can deliver to your user. It's not good, but it's not bad either. And after they become frustrated because 4 seconds is too much or is becoming too much. And then it's unacceptable because it's really too slow to load, or perhaps you didn't deliver all the pages to them. So AppDex indice allows us to fix how many concurrent users we can get, with all of them getting a good experience on your website. Okay, so you want to reach 0.9, 0.95 AppDex indice, meaning you have enough servers to serve all the pages in good timings, but doesn't involve too much money in them to all get them to excellent. We don't care about all of them having an excellent rating. You can have 20% of them having only a good rating. So basically, if you take a demo store, install it to a server, and doesn't make any kind of optimization on it, you will get a ranking which is called CNC with a grade which is 76 and 72%. Let me explain what it is. There's a website called GTmetrix, and GTmetrix basically take PageSpeed and YSlow plugins, which are plugins from Google and from Yahoo, that test your website optimization. When you look at this, you see that a basic demo store doesn't rank well. It's not mainly about if the job has been done well or not. You have a lot to make before a website is fully optimized. But the thing is, you want to load faster than that. There's 556 kilobytes to be transferred and 50 GET queries. So we need to optimize this. And when you have all of those settings ranked A, you will get an SEO and an SEM boost, because we know now that Google is going to prefer fast sites. So it's going to give you some more ranking if your site loads fast. And it's true also for your SEM. You will get a better delivery of your AdWords advertising if your site is speed. So it's not Magento task to take care of this. It's about your hosting company and some optimization tricks that your developers will make that will make your site load faster. We all have a dream, and I have one. We have to load in less than a second. It's not something that we can do because it gives your user a really nice experience. And then you don't want them to wait for 800 milliseconds to load the main core thing of Magento. You want it to be done in 45 milliseconds or less. It's not about waiting for all the big thing to get started. You want to get grade AA because obviously if major search engine consider your site to be speed, it's going to be good for you. You want to deliver massive parallelizing capability to pull off the resources from the CDN files to your computer so it can load faster. And you want to take a lot of users at the same time. Because obviously, if you are doing an e-commerce site, you will be willing to take peaks with a lot of people incoming, flowing in, and you will be able to take them without slowing down the site. So why not think that we can deliver up to 200 or 300 concurrent users with fast pages? It's something we really can do. 200 simultaneous users is something like 50,000 users a day if you maintain this flow all of the day. There are really some issues with performances if you don't do the good things. Alexei is going to speak about this also, so I'll make it fast. But you have to forget about some really bad things. Don't leave any 404 pages. Before 1.4, it triggers a PHP execution in Magento, so it slows down your site. So if your site is 1.2, 1.3 in CE edition, and you still have some 404 pages, you trigger PHP execution each time a 404 pen. You really don't want this to happen. It's been corrected in 1.4 and 1.8 or 9 in Enterprise Edition. Don't forget to activate block caching. It's not something that's done automatically. Okay, you have to call it. You have to program it. If you don't, your servers will deliver 1/3 of the page they could deliver if it's activated. So don't forget about this. One of the major issues we see in our company is badly coded crowns. Cron tables are made for usually sysadmins, and they are aware of what it does and what the power of this is. But when you give it to a developer, if they launch some PHP script, heavy PHP script, they can consume all of your RAM and CPU just to import, export, or doing trigger things at night. And we have a lot of sites crashing because of badly coded crons. So take care of this. Forget about flushing your cache just before getting a big spike of users. It's awfully slow. When a server has a cold cache, meaning that you just wiped out your cache before taking a huge load of people, it's 1/3 of its usual efficiency. Meaning, really, you are losing a lot of performances. Just let Magento warm its cache and stock it locally in RAM, if possible, so it's efficient. If you wipe the cache, it's awfully slow, and you really can take down your architecture doing this. Obviously, doing everything on the home page is not a good idea, okay? Because mainly you will give too much information to your user. It's not a good option for them to buy, and you will load everything from the database. It's going to be slow also. Don't forget that foreign include, meaning you take things from outside, can be slow. If you take something from, let's say, Google servers, and one of the Google servers is down, you are looking for your tag, analytics tag, or something like this. The page will wait for the tag to come. Obviously, Google is not down every day, so it's not a problem. But if you are taking some JS files from elsewhere, just make sure that this is always available, or take it locally, so you are not stuck waiting for something that comes from outside. Misconfiguring Magento cache, I almost speak about it, about cleaning the cache. Conception error, we had like funny stuff. People wanting to do some crazy idea, like, you have some sliders, you take like size, L, XL, M, and so on, like color, like type of clothes and stuff like this. And each time you move a slider, the site make a database query, and it's, of course, it's Ajax query, so everything is flowing to the database. And if you do this with your mouth, there's a lot of queries going to the database. And you can do really take down your servers with such kind of a very bright idea, but not cleanly made. So if you want to do this, just put a time wait before it releases the mouth. And hard disk access. Take everything you can to memory. Memory is faster than anything else. Memory now is not expensive at all, and if you write on hard disk, you really lose performances. Here are the place where you can act to change the performances. Of course, you can use some neat feature, like in CSS3, you can minify your resources like HTML, JS, CSS file, so it's transferred and downloaded faster. You can use Sprite. I don't know if you know about Sprite. It's about aggregating all the pictures of your site in only one big picture. So you transfer only one picture, and so you then use this with CSS file. You just cut them with a CSS file and place it in the right place, meaning that you only transfer one file instead of 50, for example. And you can use Solar if you have a really large SKU database. Okay. Concerning the environment of the server, you can use CDN, of course, it's a good thing to do. Alexei will speak about this. You can use Make HD also, reverse proxy, split the web and DB on two different servers. You can use alternate HTTPD like Nginx. I'm going to go fast on this one because Alexei will do it more in depth. Just to put it quickly, perhaps we'll be back on this one. You have to scale depending on your business. If you have a small business, you don't want to involve all your money in hosting, obviously. So you can make up to 2,000 unique visitors a day on a small server, having Magento and database on the same site. It's not a problem. Once you start making money and having more users, like 30,000 a day, you will want to separate database and front server. Later on, you become a large merchant and do something like 80 or more thousand unique visitors a day. You probably want to be spread on two different data centers, so you won't be taken down if something happened to one of them. You will have a load balancer, two front servers, two database servers. You'll be in security. And later on, when you are an extra large merchant, you have two data centers, a load balancer, a media content or CDN servers. You have many front servers. Probably you will get some cloud instances to get reinforcement to your site when you have to handle with a peak. And then you will have separated database, okay? Let's talk a bit of optimization. Standard optimization include splitting database, splitting front and DB, splitting your HTTP server and your database execution. Then you have to activate flat catalog, obviously. Magento has a very neat feature, which is EAV model that allows you to describe your products with in-depth details, but it comes at a price. So when it comes to rendering on the front page, you don't want this to burden your server. So you have to activate flat catalog, which gets rid of EAV attribute and just render it plainly. You have to use Enterprise Edition because there's a lot of cache triggered by the Enterprise Edition, and mainly which is called the full page cache that basically renders static file to your users, which make it damn fast, 8 times faster than if you're using a Community Edition without the full page cache feature. It comes with a lot of other features, but I'm not a guy based on usability. I'm a guy of hosting purpose. So basically, this is what pleased me. Mage Optimizer can be a good thing also if you are not using memory. It basically make all your include in one file, so it lowers your I/O inputs. And there are a lot of things beyond this that you can use. Opcode caching, of course. You can activate cache in the back office, minify in JS, and compress and everything. I'll be back on this with Alexei. Then you can fine-tune your Linux setup. There's a lot to get if you do things properly. Like there's a lot of things to mute in RAM. You can disable like there are some stupid stuff in Linux file system. Like if you access to a file, it will log it to the file system. You don't need this because obviously people are always accessing your home page and JPEG files and so on. So you don't want to know when was the last access to this file. You don't care. But what Linux does, it stores a access time in a DB, and it's not really useful. So you can get rid of it by fine-tuning the system. There's a lot of things you can do like this, but like mount with no wait time, like lower your socket wait time. If the guy is down, you don't care about keeping its socket open and stuff like this. I'd like to make a small focus on CDN. CDN allow you to get your file 8 by 8, okay? Because your browser allows you to take 8 files and then wait to the sockets to close and get 8 more files and wait 8 more files. What it basically provides a CDN is many different CNAMEs, so your browser can leverage 8 by 8 pull out of the resources. So if you have 4 servers, you will get 32 resources in one time. instead of 8, then 8, then 8. It's really efficient for your user experience. And then you can use CSS3 and HTML5 to get rid of some pictures, because you can use a gradient of colors with CSS3. You can use round corners and stuff like this. So you don't need to make a picture for it. You can directly describe them in CSS3 files. You can try Nginx and PHP FPM, but he's going to speak about it. So I'll be back on this one later. You can use DRDB to synchronize two different servers in their content. It's really efficient. It's now built in the kernel, so it's really safe to use. Use the latest memcached and memcache client. This will help you to get your Magento cache refresh faster and not to make it strangled by keeping old data. You may want to use cloud also to extend your physical architecture to cloud, so you can use the power of a virtual machine to bring reinforcement to your physical servers when it comes to a peak. Here you can see a real case scenario for one of our customers. The blue bars at the bottom are the physical server taking load, and the light blue bars on the top are the virtual servers taking load above the real servers. I'd like to introduce quickly also a new extension that we are releasing. It's about all our tricks, all our knowledge. We put it in an extension called Magento that will be made available within a couple of weeks. We actually are in beta version. It makes all of this for you, okay? So basically, it helps you to deploy your CDN. It brings you standard and custom block caching, even if you forgot to call it directly in your code. It automated your sprite generation and patch your sim file directly, so you only do 26 requests on the demo store instead of 52. It uses gzip, e-tags, and expirators directly from the back office, so you don't have to play with your htaccess file. And it's really easy and neat to use because, and of course, it minifies your JS and CSS file. It's really easy to use because you have an helper to help you and a strong documentation also. What it brings, before, a demo store ranked CC. You remember my previous slide on GTmetrix, it ranked CC and 72, 76. Now, after using Magento on the basic demo store, we rank AA 94 and 96%. We didn't patch anything in the core. Okay, it's only plainly Magento effect. Your homepage load very, very, very faster, 10 times faster. Your server load goes down 8 times, divided by 8. You get your resources faster. And of course, it enhances your user experience a lot. And beyond, I don't know if you see the figures, but you transfer less data. Okay, so I'm done in time.